Hey, welcome back. So I'm out of town traveling this week and noticed that the Nasdaq market, so the Nasdaq mini futures, which I cover multiple times a week in my skinny membership, this market is doing some interesting things right now. And I want to zero you in on the elements of the chart that tie in with an advanced forecast I made on the market for my internal members and how it's played out. Okay, so follow the lines here, real easy, kind of color coded them. This yellow vertical line here represents the earliest time at which a new advanced forecast could have been made for the current move up that we have off of the April 25th low. Okay, so that's part one, is that when you're making a market forecast, and I teach this in Lost Forecasting and then deploy this technique regularly in my futures reports, when you are doing any sort of market forecast, the forecast is only as valuable as the amount of time you have to trade it, right? So if I make a forecast for something to happen in 1 or 2 trading days, unless I'm a super short-term day trader, that's not super useful. So from a swing perspective, you want to have a few trading days to capitalize on the move. All right, so what was the forecast? Well, the advanced forecast, okay, was for the Nasdaq to head up and to the right, so trade higher, into approximately 14,400, okay? The exact level is close to that. And to do so between May 17th, hence I made this greenish line, okay? It's like the start of what I call a forecast cloud window, between that date and between May 31st. So as early as April 27th, you could have been monitoring the Nasdaq to head higher and land at the price target of 14,400, as you can see, between May 17th and May 31st. Clearly, we can see the results here. This market came up to that level and actually exceeded it on May 26th, pushed a little bit higher, and then notice this, guys, on the latter part of the forecast cloud, that's basically like a span of time for a forecast as opposed to a singular date. Notice how the Nasdaq futures still came back to the forecasted price, right? 14,400 at the end of the window. This happens more than you think. So again, the techniques to do this, I teach in Lost Forecasting and the advanced version in Advanced Lost Forecasting. So what can we all do with the current market action, especially this weakness we had come in today, as you know, the markets are sort of like hanging out, waiting for the next big thing, right? Debt ceiling has been solved, quote unquote. There's no major data going on right now. Earnings season is over. And we also have the upcoming Fed meeting. So the market seems to be pausing and waiting. Well, let me show you something that is another awesome tool that you can use to objectively determine if and when this current down move on the Nasdaq futures is going to be more substantial. Okay, so I'm going to deploy the tool and then be back and explain it. All right, here it is back in action. So the red horizontal line that you see represents the price below which, if the market closes tomorrow, okay, so Thursday, June 8th, based on my most objective trend assessment tool, which I teach in Lost Forecasting, a close below 14,277.86, and yes, that is the precise level, would suggest that the move higher from April 25th has completed. Okay, it doesn't mean the market's going to fall out of bed and just like crash. It just means that this big up leg is sort of over. On top of that, with even more added confidence to the move, if not only do we have a closing break below 14,277.86, but if it also closes beneath 14,248.25, which is the most recent higher price low, price with a capital P, on June 1st, then that's even more indicative that not only is the move higher from April 25th sort of over, but that a substantial correction could follow. So first I want to see if that happens. If that unfolds, then we can come in and I see 2 other advanced forecasts I could map out. But again, I don't want to get ahead of the markets. So if the price action I just talked about unfolds, Then in my futures reports, I will put in for my couple times a week that I cover the NQ, I will come in with those advanced forecasts that will show the potential amount of downside and how long it may take. All right. So again, right now the market's sort of just kind of in a holding period, waiting for the next catalyst. So it's too early to tell if today's weakness will continue. So keep an eye on the charts, and I'll catch you next time.